Well, it was a day of utter misery and yet more mayhem in Melbourne. Record COVID numbers, an earthquake, yep, the ground shook, and then late yesterday the anti-vax protest sinking to new lows, marching on and desecrating the city's sacred Shrine of Remembrance. I'm joined by Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie and Stella and Body and Soul magazine Sarah Lamarquand. Jackie, I'm pretty sure you have strong feelings about this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got those strong feelings out last night. It could have been a very unpleasant interview this morning. I can tell you right now, Ellie, for those who have served, for those who are serving, they're absolutely disgusted. To walk on that shrine, to walk on that sacred ground and drop your cigarettes and your beer cans all over the place, and to do what you did is absolutely a whole new low for you people. And I can tell you now, if you think this is giving you more support and you are building, you've got to be kidding yourself, because it is not just veterans that see what is going on. The rest of the Australian community is Australian what they are, which is a lot more than what you 400 are, I can tell you now, a lot more. They are seeing what is going on, and they have a very, very soft heart for veterans and those who have served. So all you are doing, and I'll be brutally honest with you, is pissing everybody off. You want to go out, you want to go out there and you want to do this stuff, that's fine, then do it in peace. Because I'd remind you people as well, through blood, sweat and tears is the reason that you have your freedoms. Because all these people who have fought for this country to have that. And to stand up there and say, lest we forget, well, I'm telling you, we're not forgetting your performance yesterday. We're not.
Jackie, I think you just summed up the feeling of many, many people. And look, and I heard one protester yesterday defend the move, saying we are fighting for the same thing as our forefathers. I mean, Jackie, seriously?
Yeah, what an embarrassment. I don't know who's leading that small group, this very small minority that's out there, which seems to be disintegrating by the day. But you might want to go back to your drawing board and do it more peacefully and do it properly.
Look, Sarah, I tell you what, for this group, any legitimate debate over mandatory vaccines, they lost that yesterday, didn't they?
Absolutely, Ali. I think everyone would be at home nodding along in furious agreement with what Jackie has so passionately articulated there. What the strategy is, who knows, but there's absolutely not a single soul surely won over to their cause. As Jackie said, when we reflect on the values that are embodied by our veterans, the values that we as a country pause to honour on Anzac Day every year, those are values of genuine mateship, of selflessness, of courage. Those values are the absolute antithesis of the disgusting behaviour that we saw yesterday. And to try in any way to invoke the spirit of veterans, as I say, it's completely appalling, but to your point, absolutely counterproductive. If there was any goodwill for these protesters at the beginning of the week, it is surely evaporated as we stand here on Thursday morning.
I mean, just looking at those scenes, this is not the Australia that we know. This is not the Australia that we love. This was a country divided yesterday, but I wonder in some ways, did this almost bring the rest of us together in our strong feelings towards what we saw yesterday? Jackie, I mean, I thought how the police handled yesterday, you know, they did warn that they weren't going to cop what they copped the previous day, and after about 4 hours they moved in, they used rubber bullets, tear gas to break up the rioters at the shrine. Did you have any problem with that, Jackie?
No, I have no problem with that. And I just remind people out there, this is 18 months. You know, Victoria has really paid the price for this. And I understand there is some people who are really angry, but doing this way is not the way to go around it. Our first responders, I can tell you, whether they're police, they're nurses, aged care workers, whatever, they are at a point of exhaustion after going through COVID. So to be doing this to our own police force as well, I have to ask them, do they have no respect for anybody, let alone themselves? Honestly, it is enough. This is not the Australian way. We didn't lose people through wars. People didn't lose their husbands, their fathers through wars to give you these freedoms you have today. And you're abusing them. You're absolutely abusing them.
And look, we saw some police officers have been injured over the past couple of days. And Jackie, you just touched on our frontline workers, our doctors and our nurses. I mean, Sarah, I've got to wonder then, what are the consequences of what we've seen over the last couple of days? We could well see some of those people turn up at hospitals and our doctors and nurses having to potentially save their lives.
Absolutely, and this is the whole point. I mean, this notion of anti-vaxxers and anti-lockdown protesters, everyone feels their frustration. I'm here in Sydney. Obviously, we've been in lockdown for a few months. I think everyone in Australia is absolutely sympathetic to what people in Melbourne have gone through. None of this is easy, but it's for a reason. And we're just pretending as though lockdowns are because the government is a bit mean or because people just enjoy trampling over the freedoms of individuals. It's not about that. There's very real repercussions. People in ICU, people losing their lives, frontline workers who have to go home at night being put in vulnerable positions for no reason at all. I would hate to see any of what those frontline workers are already having to endure be made worse because of the selfish actions of these protesters.
Yeah, the people of Melbourne deserve better than what's happening at the moment. Jackie, we know that there are more protests planned for today. What response would you like to see from the police? Because we cannot keep having Melbourne brought to a standstill by this small group.
Look, I think the police are heading in the right direction. They've given them, enough chances. And if the police have got to get a little heavy-handed with them, then if they're asking for that, I don't know what else to say because, it's about the police that we've had them get hurt over the last few days as well, and their partners and stuff like that. So I'm really, really concerned about our police force around Australia right now going through all that COVID. Like I said, they're on exhaustion. They shouldn't have to put up with this really, really bad behaviour from a few, and that's all it is from a few. And like I said, you few are not making any mates.
Yeah, and a huge shout out to all our frontline workers and to the police who have done a very measured job over the past couple of days. Let's see how today plays out. And just very, very quickly before we go, just to end slightly more positive, Sarah, this push to try and save the 9 p.m. fireworks in Sydney this year. I mean, we all need that, don't we? A bit of to send the year off and say good riddance to 2021 and bring on 22.
We really do, Ali. I think when we get to New Year's Eve, we're all going to be very happy to see the back of this year. We were all saying this time last year, by the way, but please don't take our fireworks from us. We need that, surely.
I know, they're keeping the midnight ones, but I don't know about you guys. I can't stay up that late. I prefer the 9 p.m. And our kids need it. Our kids need it. Jackie, are you on board with it?
I absolutely am, and I thought the agreement was once 80% were vaccinated, we pretty much get our freedoms back, even if we've got to ask people to wear masks and put on extra transport in Sydney for that evening so our kids can, so our Australian kids can get out there and try and get back to normality. Been shut down enough, Ali. They need some good news.
I agree. And I'll tell you what, Jackie, you brought the fireworks this morning. We felt your passion. All of Australia felt your passion. Nice to talk to both of you. Take care.